Hey guys, Nananki here, bringing you another Team Fortress 2 gameplay commentary, and you know what I'm not going to be bringing it to you in? Is Pyro vision. You see that warping at the edge of the screen where everything kind of like waves in and out of existence? Good lord, that drives me nuts. It gives me instant nausea. Can't take it, so sorry, you're going to have to just watch this in reality mode, or not insane mode. The Pyromania update has come to an end, all the items are live in the game, and the Pyro only got one new thing, the Scorch Shot there, which is kind of cool because it can light enemies on fire in a little group, even if you hit the wall or the floor. In fact, you can purposely shoot at the floor and try to light people on fire in a group, kind of like rockets. You can aim at people's feet. So Pyro finally has another AoE other than the detonator, and this one you don't have to trigger manually. It just blows up on walls or floors. Frankly, I think the detonator probably should have done that in the first place. This one only does 50% damage, and only does 15 on hit to a player with a direct hit, and the knockback is really negligible. I don't see it being able to be utilized for anything like switching to something else to hit them while they're airborne, which, what are you going to switch to anyway? You're already on your sub-item. So I don't get the point of the knockback. It's a nice little effect, you know, it's cosmetically nice, but I don't know what the gameplay benefit would be. I mean, players on fire already can't really aim very well, so you're not going to get that much else out of it, I think, than just the AoE lighting people on fire effect. And I don't think I'm going to be using it over the flare gun or the reserve shooter. The gimmicks with those weapons, being able to mini crit people who are already on fire, or I think it's actually a full crit with the flare gun, and the reserve shooter mini crits airborne targets, of course. I like those gimmicks. It makes it more fun. There's you're going for a certain, you know, maneuver when you're playing with gimmick weapons. And I don't know what I was doing there with that double head check. Clearly the second one cost me, because even though I was looking at him on my end, I wasn't looking at him server side, and he back face stabbed me. As a matter of fact, all the flamethrowers got updated, and they all do 10% more damage now, though the backburner had its additional 10% damage bonus removed, so it's effectively the same as it was before. And the degreaser had a 10% damage penalty added, so it's also effectively the same. The Phlogistinator is the only one that got outright reduced in efficiency insofar as the taunt does not reduce 90% of your damage anymore, it reduces 75%, so that's a pretty big difference, and you will in fact be killable now by people when you're standing there taunting, whereas before with that 90% bonus damage reduction, that was the same thing as the Dead Ringer, and you were fairly unkillable for that 5-second period of time, especially since you were triggered to full health at the activation of the taunt. There are a couple other new items that I won't be showing you directly in this video. The Heavy's Gloves of Running Urgently had their damage penalty reduced from 50% to 25%, and they don't take 6 damage a tick now, but instead you are going to take mini crits while they are active and for 3 seconds after switching off of them. So if you use them to run in and jump around a corner and switch to your minigun in midair, and you know, so you spin up and start blasting people, you're going to have a good 2.5 seconds of mini crits. So that is going to be absolutely not what you want to do anymore. You're going to have to use the Gloves on Running Urgently to get close to the front and then switch to the minigun. Also, the Heavy's Tomislav's spin-up bonus was reduced from 40% to only 10%, so that's a pretty strong nerf if you ask me, and not really very deserved. With the decreased firing rate of 20%, it's really not making up for it with only a 10% addition to spin-up time. Tomislav is no longer, you know, the standout quick gun that it was. Now you're going to once again have to be pretty well, you know, spinning up when you go around corners and so forth. You can't rely on the ability to just pull that thing out and immediately do damage with it. The soldier got a new rocket launcher called the Beggar's Bazooka. It can fire up to 3 rockets at once, which sounds really, really impressive until you realize that they go in kind of random directions. They don't go straight. So they're not effective at very long range, which was always their most, you know, potent attribute, was that you could fire them from any distance and suffer no damage fall off or any other negative effects. Now they're going to go all over the place, which means they're a mid-range weapon. They're pretty much effective at the same range as like stickies, which is a really interesting change for Soldier, and I'm kind of digging it. I don't personally like this weapon because of the lag on the shots and the fact that you're generally going to fire 3 at a time and you don't have that 4-round clip. I prefer having a normal grenade or rocket launcher where I can fire at the instant I want to. I don't have to wait a moment for the gun to load a shot, because you can of course fire 1 at a time and have them go straight, but they don't fire immediately, and if you're using this weapon, then why are you even bothering to fire 1 rocket, except for of course situations where that's your only option because you need to be able to kill someone to survive. But if that's what you're doing, and that's the situation you're finding yourself in over and over again, why don't you just use the normal rocket launcher? So that's kind of my breakdown of this weapon, is that it's not bad. It is absolutely worthless against sentry guns, though, unless they're right in front of you, and if you're right in front of a sentry gun, you have a bigger problem than the spread of your rockets. So if you've got a level 3 off in the distance, rockets were exactly what the doctor ordered. Now it has got no option with this gun except to shoot 1 every couple seconds, or to shoot 3 and cross your fingers and hope the spread's not ridiculous. It's a weapon that when you come around a corner with it charged up, and there's 3 people in front of you or 4 people in front of you, and you fire off, all 3 rockets, then yeah, it's great. It does a lot of damage and in a burst that no other class can match. If you land all 3 rockets on a heavy, for example, and they all do about 100 damage, you just killed that heavy basically instantly in less time than it takes him to spin up even the Tomislav. And of course the drawback to that is that it's kind of a luck weapon. You've got to go around that corner and hope that people are going to be there, because if they're not, then you just waste the 3 rockets that you just loaded into your gun. The medic also got some changes. The quick fix now allows the medic to rocket jump or sticky jump along with his heal target. You go in the same direction and velocity as the person who is explosive jumping, so you can jump with them effectively as long as you're, lined up right with your jump and such. And that's pretty good. I'm glad they're finally adding some additional benefits to the quick fix. As a matter of fact, the Scout's new gun, the Babyface's Blaster, that makes him run very, very fast, is another kind of side benefit to the quick fix, because before, you could run extra fast with a Scout, but now with a Scout moving at double normal player running speed, the quick fix having the same benefit will be amplified. A couple of other soldier items got changed. The Conqueror finally can be charged simply by doing damage. You don't have to take damage to use it anymore, which made it effectively useless before. I don't know anybody who used it. You saw it on the most rare of occasions, probably when somebody had just got it and wanted to see why nobody used it. And then they quickly found out. Another soldier item to catch a nerf, but a much more deserved nerf than the Tomislav, is the Equalizer has been separated into 2 items, one of which makes you move faster based on how low your health is, and the other one makes you deal more damage based on how low your health is. They effectively split the Equalizer's qualities into 2 separate items, which I think that was pretty appropriate. The Equalizer was the far and away best melee item for soldier. I would use the Market Gardener out of sheer obstinance to not want to have the item equipped that every single other person has equipped. I will say this though, getting a crits with it was a lot of fun. Pretty effective too, especially if you've got the right angle on them, because you don't want to be trying to aim directly at people with this weapon, because you're just as likely to be shooting the skybox. As far as other changes go, stuff I'll try to just cover really quickly. The reload speed of the Crusader's crossbow was reduced by 40%, so it's actually kind of usable now, whereas before it was just unusably slow. The Cozy Camper now causes a health regenerating effect on the Sniper, so the Sniper is the only class other than Medic now that has automatically regenerating health as an option. And lastly, the Criticola and the Atomic Bonk had their duration increased from 6 seconds to 8 seconds, and the Criticola gets a 25% buff on movement speed for that 8 seconds as well. So you can, actually make more use of it. That's just like a straight buff, so that's cool. Which brings me to the new Special Delivery game mode, which only has 1 map for it so far, which is Doomsday, the map I'm on right now, and it makes it feel really like it's just a special map, not like a new game mode, because there's only 1 place to experience it. It combines a series of gameplay features that were in a series of other modes and maps for that matter. It kind of combines the end of High Tower with the raising payload lift, with the intel from, the Capture the Intelligence maps, and it kind of functions as a point at the end that you have to capture, though you only need 1 person on it with the Australium to make it go up. I haven't played it enough to know all of the details, but I know that you don't make it go faster with more people on it. You don't make it go faster as a scout over, say, a heavy or a demo. I have noticed that you cannot be Ubered if you have the Australium. You do not get the Uber at all, whereas with the Intelligence you would drop it where you were Ubered. Now if the medic pops an Uber on you, the medic will be Ubered, but you will not. I assume the healing effect is still normal, without any first-hand experience of that, but I know for a fact that you don't drop the Australian, you just don't get the effects of the Uber. Though that might also have been exclusive to being on the platform with the Australian. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody get an Uber when they weren't about to be putting the Australian into the rocket. So it doesn't, you know, cancel out that process to try to Uber the guy. It just also doesn't give him an Uber, so you're wasting the Uber. And the Scout got 2 new weapons that I haven't talked about yet, but I've been using for the last minute or so. The Pretty Boy's Pocket Pistol, which is plus 15 health, which is cool, but plus 50% fire damage vulnerability, and that's not cool. I generally don't like the weapons with the, you know, plus explosive damage or plus fire damage. I tend to shy away from them. I want to be a, you know, jack of all trades. I don't want to be shoehorned into avoiding certain classes. I don't want to be on a server filled with pyros and be like, oh no, I don't want to jump. I don't want to play here because there's a bunch of pyros because I'm using a weapon that will inhibit me if I'm playing against that class. I'd rather be equivalently good or bad against each class. But the other weapon, I got to admit, I am kind of digging. The Babyface's Blaster. It's 40% more accurate, but does 30% less damage. So that's kind of, you know, not necessarily better or worse unless you're right up next to people. Then it's just worse. Like if you're trying to take out a mini sentry, whereas before it was like 2 scattergun shots, now it's at least 3, if not 4, if you're point blank and don't miss any of the spread, which although the spread is 40% less, you know, random, it's 40% more accurate, it's not, you know, like sniping. You can't use it at great distance, and the damage penalty as well means that you're only going to do a little bit of damage if you're more than a little bit away from people. But that is offset by the boost bar that you can build up by just shooting people. It only takes a couple good meat shots to fill it up all the way, and it doubles your movement speed, and that is fantastic. The offset of that is that when you come out of spawn, you are moving pretty slowly, slower than a demo man, I would say, and faster than a soldier. I might be wrong. That's my impression of it, and that's why I'm using the critical, is to speed up my approach to the front and to, you know, amp up my first few shots, because the boost bar, when it's filled, it doesn't decrease unless you jump. So you can get moving at 200% normal player speed and just pretty much keep that boost the entire time as long as you never jump with it. It doesn't matter if you get blown up in the air, it doesn't matter if you fall off a ledge or get compression blasted. All that matters is you stay off the jump button. Which reminds me a lot of playing Doom, because Doom guy was real fast when you run, but you couldn't jump. So the new Scout gun is essentially Doom guy mode, as far as I'm concerned, and it's kind of nostalgic, and I'm kind of, you know, liking it. It is a lot of fun. I was playing also on one of the on Barn Blitz, and they had all but the last point, and I got by their spawn with, you know, 200% movement speed, and I was just basically harassing their spawn, you know, shooting people as they came out and so forth, and running around, and no one can chase you. Even another scout who just spawned is going to have to shoot you a handful of times before he can keep up with you. So you are just the ultimate troll at that point. You can run away from anyone, no one can catch you, you are above the law. And the sniper got a pair of new weapons as well, but obviously this video is already up to 13 minutes, and as a matter of fact, when the Pyromania update hit, it actually broke my older copy of fraps that I used to record my footage, and I was unable to record for a couple of days, unfortunately. I really wanted to put out a very comprehensive, you know, meet the Pyro, all items revealed video, and for the last 2 days I've been getting various other programs and trying them, and I finally actually went down and went ahead and downloaded a pirated copy of fraps, the newer version, to see if the newer version would fix the problem, because I wasn't about to buy it not knowing if it would fix it, and it did, so now I will give them my money. And now I also still have 2 more weapons to play with and try to make a sniper video, even though far and away the sniper with the rifle is my weakest class. I've got a real aversion to it, and I like the Huntsman. It's a novel weapon, but I will give it a shot next time. I will give it my best. Here's a couple more random clips from the Doomsday map. Special Delivery, of course, is the name of the game mode. Doomsday is the name of the map. It is the only Special Delivery map currently available. Hopefully there will be some fan-made maps making their way to the scene pretty quickly, and we'll get to see this new game mode maybe with some different layouts. That could be more interesting or whatnot. But hey, thank you sincerely for watching. Like it if you liked it, and I will catch you next time. Peace.